Hi, and welcome to This Week on 33rd Street. I'm Mike Wisniewski, sports editor at the DP, and I'm here with two former sports editors, Kevin Estevez and Brian Kotloff. We're here to talk Penn basketball. So Monday night, Penn defeats Princeton 82-67. Kevin, let's start with you. What were your thoughts of the game on Monday night?
Well, I think that first half, Penn was shooting the lights out, and when you see Tyler and Zach just get going like that, you feel like they could play with anyone. But I think the concern was the defense, too, because while they shot like 65%, Princeton also shot around high 60s, so that was a concern. They kind of addressed it in the end. So another thing is just the wire-to-wire lead that they had. I thought that was impressive.
Yeah, Penn has led wire-to-wire against Princeton, against St. Joe's, and against Cornell, so they actually haven't trailed since the Columbia game.
Yeah.
About the game on Monday
I hope I have something to add. I'm just impressed most by how everyone seems to be accepting their roles. I think you can see that most through Miles Cartwright. I always hear that on good teams, guys really know where their shots are going to come and when. And Miles kind of was in foul trouble in the first half against Princeton, and then in the second half, he really picked his spots and knew when to attack, and I thought he changed the game in the second half. Same with Steve Renard, Rob Belcourt. Those guys are really accepting their roles, and I think that's why this team is gelling so much right now.
Yeah, and so last year the Quakers found themselves in a similar position, 3-0 start in the Ivy League. What's different this year?
Well, I think they've cleared a bigger hurdle right now. Last year, these three games that they just played at Columbia and Cornell and home versus Princeton, they lost all three, and this year they turned those into wins. So I think their wins have been more impressive, and they have an easier schedule coming up. So I think they're in a better position to keep the streak going. Whereas last year when they were 3-0, they had Princeton and they had Harvard, and then at Princeton coming up, and they lost both of those games in overtime. Kevin, what do you think?
Yeah, exactly. Last year they had some home cooking going for them. They won those first two games, and then they had a Dartmouth team at home that they crushed that just wasn't competitive last season. This year you get that New York road trip out of the way with a sweep. Then you have the St. Joe's game that, even though it's not Ivy League competition, that helps your confidence. And then you have the long layoff, and they're still they still look good, and there's no rust there. So I think definitely they have cleared a bigger hurdle than last year, and because they have some home games, especially at home with Harvard, I think they're in a prime position.
Yeah, and this weekend they'll be at Yale on Friday night, Brown on Saturday. What are your thoughts for the game this weekend? Is it a must sweep?
If you want to compete with Harvard, that's what everybody's saying. I don't think Harvard's going to run the table. I can see them losing one, maybe two games on one of those back-to-back nights. But that just means Penn can't afford to lose more than one or two games if they want to compete with Harvard. So having those games where, especially playing at Harvard, that's going to be extremely tough. So you want to take care of business when you can. That's going to be crucial for them to get a sweep.
Yeah, especially since Harvard played Yale already and beat them by 30
points. Yeah.
Right.
I think Yale is clearly the more talented team than Brown, but I actually see Brown as the more challenging game just because, with Yale, they're going on the road trip. They know what they have to get done. So that first day, they can take care of business. But then they're playing a back-to-back after this 5-hour bus ride. They're playing an inferior team. So I think that's when they have to really maintain their focus and just grind out a win in whatever way they can.
All right, so you have any predictions for the games?
I'll call a sweep. I think this team is peaking right now, and I think they've learned from last year and know that they have to come out firing this weekend.
Yeah, same thing. The fact that as you said, they've been leading these games instead of like last year when they're coming from behind and having those comebacks. So I think they're just playing their best basketball right now. I think they'll get a sweep.
All right, I think they'll get a sweep too. So 3 sweep predictions from the DP Sports Editors. And that's all we have for this week on 33rd Street. You can tune in to thebuzz.thedp.com, and we'll be live blogging the games this weekend. Thanks, and have a good week.